Hi, my name's Tori, and today I'm going to be showing you how to fold a paper crane just like this one. All you're going to need is some regular paper and some scissors. Here you'll see that I'm using regular printer paper. This part of the process is just to make sure that I'm actually using a square piece of paper. So I'm going to go ahead and fold and make sure that my corner meets on the very bottom and that each of the sides of the paper line up properly to make me a perfect square there. Now you'll see me take my scissors and I'll just cut off that edge. We really want to try that cut to be as smooth and as clean as possible. If we have it all wonky or, squiggly or anything like that, it's going to be a little hard to keep our fold nice and neat. Here you'll see me point at the corners of my fold, and that is because we want to make sure that whenever we make our folds, we are lining up the corners, because when we line up the corners, it means all the sides are going to follow and make sure that we have a really neat fold here. It's a little hard to see on white paper, but you can see how our creases are actually leading the paper to go where it should. These creases are very much guidelines to the paper, and we're just kind of encouraging it to take the shape we want rather than forcing it down somewhere. In this part of the process, you'll actually notice that I struggle a little bit to make my fold look nice. You'll see here that when I fold the other side, it'll actually look a little bit wonky. It's not going to be a perfect point, similar how that top should look. So it is completely okay. If you've already made a fold, you can always rework the paper. Just keep in mind that we don't want to overdo it. We can make the paper weak, or it can make it very confusing to make the fold later on. But a good way to tell if our fold is even is if that top line there, near that top of that little triangle, those should be exactly on the same plane and everything should meet in the middle. These folds are very symmetrical, and it'll give you a really good guide to tell if your fold is going well or not. And if you do make a mistake, it's okay. You can always try and fix it, or you can start over. Here is going to be the most difficult part of this fold in my opinion. So that little top triangle fold is going to be our guide for this one. So you'll notice that there's a lot of tension in the paper here. We're going to be very gentle, smoothing it out. Sometimes the paper can get these little stress points, or very similar to a cramp. You want to make sure you take your time to smooth those out as you're laying the paper down so that it'll fold properly. You want to be very gentle, make sure everything lines up here. Take your time, and if you mess up, it's okay. It's only paper. Here we're going to open up our crane like a little book, and we're going to lift that up. And this piece that we're lifting up here is either going to be the neck or the tail of the crane, depending on which side you choose. If you prefer for your neck and tail to not look straight up, or maybe you want them to look one lower than the other, you can adjust the fold to be a little bit wider, have the neck a little bit lower. It's entirely up to you. You can just play around and find out. Here we're going to fold the wings down, and to make sure that everything's even on both sides, make sure you follow those crease lines or the area where the paper meets underneath. It's always nice to make sure the corners meet up together to keep things even. And here we'll create our little face. You can make our beak as big or as small as you'd like. And now this part is optional. This is just to create a good stable base for when you flip up your crane so that it can stand on its own. And there you have it. You've now completed your very own paper crane. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.